gentlemen, I'm really proud to present a friend, a legend, Mr. Wilson KIPKETER.
Thank you very much. First, it's an honor to be here with the big people, knowing Israel Olympic Committee. They have been inviting me for the last, I think, 6 years. Somebody asked me, I still have an email, I didn't find it. So somebody invited me to come here, and I say I'm coming, I didn't manage. But this time I met my friend Amir in Busan when we were studying there, and I say I will come. And here I am, so thank you very much, it's an honor to be here. And I hope I can share my story with you to inspire some coaches and young athletes if they're here. But I will go slowly, and if you want to know something more, you can stop me and ask the questions. So I'm not going in a hurry. I know it takes time to be a champion, and it takes time to be someone. So I want to build my story, so you can take that as a positive way of building your own story. I think Israel, so to make their own story as Israeli people, to make your own identity as Israeli people. So I make my identity as an athlete, and moving to Denmark from Kenya. I still have 2 flags there. I go back every year. But the challenge was to make a story. So we go slowly. I think I don't have to read all the stories which are here, so I think you can see that just for a moment. So here is, I would say 1988, when I was 15 years. So I was in a World Junior in Sudbury, Canada. So I didn't know how to run. So this, I would say, growing up in running. So I was disqualified in heats. I won my heat, ran 149, but then running 800 meters, you get to run 150 meters before you cut in. So I cut in 30 centimeters and I was disqualified. Rules are rules. I was so in 1990, so I was trying to show a video. In that time, I was number 4. So when people they were training, I was sleeping. I was not training. And I was number 4 by doing that. So in 1995, I came back 5 years later with more knowledge, with more knowing how to run, with knowing what I want to do, with ambition, having a plan, want to be a champion. So the juniors, I was with them in 1990. I didn't see them in 95. I won my first gold medal. I was 22. And I was running for Denmark. So thinking that possibly I could run in Atlanta in 96. But then rules are rules again. I was in Denmark for, I would say, 5 years. So I was not fully citizen in Denmark. So the Olympics say only people running for the national team have to be a citizen of the country. Denmark say you have to be in the country for 7 years before you qualify to get a citizenship, which I was still missing 2 years. Kenya say we are not giving you permission to go to Olympic. You still have a Kenyan passport, so you can run for us. So I was in between to make decisions. So it's a tough decision to make when you're still young, still have ambitions. So I decided I will miss Atlanta to get my papers, because that was my life. It was not about the sport, it was what I want myself. So of course about the sport, I miss Atlanta. But 97, so I came back. Indoors, I broke the record twice. World Championship outdoors, I broke the record 3 times in 97. That was a revenge of showing that I miss Atlanta, so I want to show everybody I was the best. So that's motivation in another way, saying that I want to still be the best. So going to 98, so I think so I'll jam all that is. 98, so it was the time I was really top, being a sportsman of the year, athlete of the year. But in that case, in 97, I was not athlete of the year in Denmark. Women handball won in that period, I was 2nd. But that's life, because handball in Denmark and football is #1 sport, not athletics. Life goes on. So in 98, I got malaria in 97 December, and I was sick. I would say it took me 6 months. So I came back in 98, I won 2 races. One race in Monaco running 1:43, and then I was second in Zurich running again 1:42.87. And then I went to World Championship in Budapest, which I was number 8, last. Being number 1 in the world, Sportsman of the Year, and then moving again until number 8 in the European Championship. So that's, I would say, it's a tough life to come up again to be a champion. And this is a challenge for the coaches, it's a challenge for the federation, it's a challenge for the athlete himself. And this is where I want to emphasize that, to say, always, if you think positive and be yourself and get support from the federation, get support from the family, you will come up again. But then if the people, they are not there for you, you will get lost. So this is the challenge for the federation to know, even if the athlete is going to the Olympic, where is the federation in the period of problems? Where is the federation when they have a success? So you need to be there, making balance every time. So in 99, I came back. I was second indoors in indoors championship in Japan, which again people they say Wilson is not bad, but I came back 99. I won in Seville. In 2000, again, so I was injured before the Olympic. So I think missing Atlanta, I had that in my mind. So I think it was a psychological problem. So managed, I got silver, and then I had a motivation for another 4 years. So I think, okay, I'll go until Athens. But then 2001, I was injured the whole year. I had a stress fracture. So I didn't do anything. I was not running the whole year. Again, I thought it was, but then I think back in Sydney, Neil Schumann from Germany, he won in Sydney. And people say Schumann was the best runner in the last 200 meters, in 800 meters. So he motivated me to say, I want to be in the European Championship where I can meet him, because Neil Schumann was a European champion in 98, and he was an Olympic champion in 2000. So I say 2000 was my revenge, 2002. So I went there with a different objective, only to be in front of Schumann. Even if I was going to be, Schumann was going to be number 8, I want to be number 7. But Schumann was number 3. And then, so Paris in 2000, I was number 4. Athens, I was still trying to try. I was 32 years old, so I think the age was catching up. Motivation was trained out. Training also was getting tough. So to keep that up, and then I think also the federation was thinking, he has been there for many years, we don't want to see him anymore. So, and that was the end of my running. And then also, I will go back now to my story. Moving the challenges for standing here today, what brings me until where I am, the name Wilson KIPKETER, making your own story. I will jump that. So this, the video I'm going to show you anyway, and then I don't know if I have to make some comments. If someone wants to know more, I will tell you. It's going to be in a different language. This is the first time arriving in Denmark in 1990. So I don't know the language, I don't know the mentality, I don't know the weather, but see the video and then we can continue to talk about it.
Genialt selvfølgelig Wilson KIPKETER og KIPKETER kom til Danmark i 1990, da de var 18 år gamle, hentet hertil af atletiklederen Ove Bjørn Kraft, som hurtigt fik det præsenteret i dansk tv.
Wilson KIPKETER, han kommer fra Nandi-stammen, og Robert KIPKETER kommer fra Jussia Gisho-stammen. Og det borger jo for kvalitet.
Begge var store løbetalenter, og Robert KIPKETER opnåede også nogle gode internationale resultater. Men Wilson KIPKETER var klart det største talent og udviklede sig hurtigt til verdens bedste 100 meter løber. Og her, 5 år senere, i 1995, er han i VM-finalen i Gothenburg.
Danmark har chancen for at vinde det første verdensmesterskab nogensinde, og Wilson KIPKETER ligger sidst her, hvor de går ind.
Look the styles of running. I was running from behind in 1995.
Og så kommer Wilson KIPKETER, skal Danmark have sit første verdensmesterskab, og Danmark får verdensmesterskabet. En enestående
ved VM i 1997, hvor Wilson Kipketer så på toppen af sin karriere.
Og så skal det åbne, som Wilson Kipketer bliver verdensmester for anden gang, og tælles for at Cuba bliver nummer 2. Og herpå der kom så amerikanerne til sidst. Der stod 1:43.38, og han er $60.000 rigere.
Havde du en verdensrekord i dine overvejelser, siden du lagde over?
Nej, jeg lægger så over, for der er ikke noget på efterfærd, så det var 4 løb, så det var den 4 løb i nu, så det er når jeg er på efterfærd, så det var når jeg er på efter at være verdensmester.
Men det blev til flere verdensrekorder på 800 meter til år. Først tangerede han den, og derpå forbedrede han den 2 gange.
Wilson Kipketer.
VM-titlen og rekorden betød, at han blev kåret til årets sportsmand i verden i 1997. Men Wilson Kipketer kom aldrig tilbage på niveauet fra 1997, i det han efterfølgende vinter blev ramt af malaria.
That was a different after malaria, so
Kom nu, hvide tænderne sammen. Nej, det er slet ikke den Wilson, vi kender. Og så står op til. Så kommer han. Hvor er det godt kæmpet, Wilson. Strålende Wilson Kipketer. Kom så, Wilson. Ja! Frem 1:43.32, og alt har givet. Alt skal han i kampen her ved Seville på Sydafrika.
Wilson, se det udefra, så var det lidt for spændende. I hvert fald til mig. Hvordan var det derinde?
Ja, det var meget spændende, fordi den første 400 eller den første 300, så det var ikke noget rigtig godt rytme for mig, fordi så vi sparkede hinanden lidt og skubbede lidt. Så jeg mistede min rytme, og så jeg prøvede at komme i gang, så Seville går foran mig, så jeg var lidt overrasket på den her situation var.
OL havde Wilson Kipketer nu aldrig vundet. I 1996 stillede han ikke op, fordi han ikke var dansk statsborger, men det var han med legene i Sydney i 2000.
Så kommer Wilson Kipketer, så kommer KOSGEI, men der er stadig meget langt op. Det er Niels Schumann, der fører her, hvor vi går ind på de sidste 50 meter. Men så kommer Wilson Kipketer på ydersiden af sig. Og det er Wilson Kipketer, det bliver Niels Schumann. Schumann er olympisk mester, og vi får søg til Wilson Kipketer ser det ud til, men han fanger ikke tyske Schumann.
Du virker noget utilfreds, da du kom over stregen.
Nej, det var, når jeg kom over stregen, så det var noget, jeg tænkte, jeg kunne godt lidt bedre, men altså, det var på sin lidt end man nu. Jeg ser, jeg er meget glad op på skyld, men der på det sidste en måned, så er jeg lidt problem med min ben, og jeg kom over, og jeg er noget i finalen. Så jeg synes, at det her går rigtig godt.
OL-finalen i Athen 2004 var så Wilson Kipketers sidste chance for at vinde olympisk guld.
Det er Wilson Kipketer, der fører her. KOSGEI kommer nu. Der så Wilson, det bliver Rusland. Det bliver KOSGEI, der vinder guld, og så er det spørgsmålet om Wilson må nøjes med bronzemedaljen her. Unsi kommer ind på sølvpladsen. Desværre, han fører til der mangler 20-30 meter, men så kommer KOSGEI med den spurt, vi har frygtet.
Året efter stoppede Wilson Kipketer karriere, der gjorde ham til verdens bedste 800 meter løber nogensinde, og alle tiders særklasse største danske atletiknavn.
So I would say that's my 10 years career, anyway, starting from junior, running in a different styles, fighting in a different ways, motivating myself in a different ways. So I think talking about running, I think in business it's the same thing. You know, you do business today, you are doing well, you're doing bad. In organization it's the same thing. You don't have money this year, you have money next year. But you have a plan and moving forward. So I think this could be a way of thinking you need to fight no matter what happens, you have to do your best. So I know Israel is looking at the time from 1992, the numbers are going up. So I think so this is going the right way. This is the positive thing to see. Even if you say you have no money, you have no this, there's problem, but then the numbers are going up. So that's the right way to move. So I think Israel are doing the right job, and I hope you will get many medals in Olympic. So talking about that, so it's the rhythm. So you see, when I was running, so I count my split to see run consistent. So this is about also training the athletes when they are doing the job. If you to maintain your consistency the same way all the time, you will manage to be the average. You know, you never go down, but sometimes you know you run too fast and then too slow. So this could be also something of managing the athlete in the same way of managing all the sports people to be in their, I would say, good shape to maintain that in the level they will stay for a longer period. Because I think if you say, okay, you want to be in good shape now and then in 1 month's time, where are you in 1 month's time? So I would say this focus, even when you are running on the track, so this, I was really focusing on only my line, to run my race. And training also is, when I'm going to competition, it's just, I would say, I will do my best no matter who is behind me or who is in front of me. So I need to keep my focus in what I want to achieve. So never lose focus until the last minute. I think so this would be the mental way of encouraging the young sports people. Keep fighting until the last minute when they say it's finished. So you give everything you have. So this try to visualize, I think in Athens, so you see, I think I would say the age was there. Motivation was not very strong anymore. So I was trying to get the last how I was going to run the race. So sometimes it's not an easy task in Olympic because you are stressed. The whole world is watching you. Your nation is depending on you. And this is the moment. I think the athletes are fragile. So you need more support from the committee and the team. That was the tough one to take it. But and this also is try to fight all the way, but then I didn't have the 6th gear. I was staying the 5th gear, and then. So what I've been doing for the last, I would say 8 years with IAAF, so try to motivate the young people, because now talking about problems with the doping and all this. So how they can relax, how they can form, how they can grow their knowledge of running. Because it's not only about training. They have to be a good citizen in their life. They have to be a good people in their family. So it's not only doing the sports, but now teaching them how to be socialized with other people. Socialize in their life, develop their knowledge, knowing about the sport. Sports is business. It's not only about performing, it's not only about talent. So it's a combination of a big talent from head to the legs. Even the concentration, coordination. So this is what I've been doing with the IAAF for the last 8 years. And I was in a first Youth Olympic in Singapore. So and I met these young people also. It's a challenge and it's a long road to go. So and I think this is something Israel Olympic Committee or maybe all the federation to start giving the seminar to the young people, maybe in schools or in colleges, which is, I think this could be part of it, but I don't see the young people around. But this, I think this is not a problem. But this, the way of going it for teaching them to understand the sport is not only making the results to be #1 in the world. If you want to be #1 in sports, you have to be #1 citizen. You have to be #1 person in yourself. So it's learning yourself to know who you are. What do you want to achieve? What do you want people to remember you about? It's making your own story. And this, I want to share that with them. It took me a long time coming from Kenya, moving to Denmark, training with coach from Poland. So dealing with those mentalities, you need really high level of thinking, of balancing, because I think everybody have a problem in I would say in Kenya we have a different mentality approaching the sport and training. In Denmark it's a different mentality about athletic and other sports. And then I have a coach from Eastern Poland, which is a different approach, perspective for the coaches in those countries. And I managed to balance the three things and get a good results out of it. With people, they were saying, so how can you communicate with your coach? I said, so we have the same ambition. Maybe the language is not a problem, but the same ambition, the same goal, and we managed to find the answers for that. So still was, I think it's 2001, then still with IAAF, so I was in Morocco. So we managed, I think it was almost 400 kids they were running around. So also again, with the language and also, because sports is more practical thing, so you don't need to have the language to talk about. You need to do things in a practical way, it's no more theory. So this I would say, never give up. Because I said Schumann won in 1998 European Championship. He won in 2000 in Sydney, and this was my revenge in 2002 in his hometown in Germany itself. And I want to show that, you know, you are lucky that time. I was unlucky. This time I'm lucky, you aren't lucky. So this about the sport is about sharing. You cannot win all the time, but you try your best. And I think this could be also a good thing to share with the young people, young athletes, even the coaches themselves. Because sometimes coaches, they have the ambition of one athlete to perform very well. But then I think as a human being, you cannot perform very well every time. And I think that was the long story. So I don't know if I went too fast. So I have okay, so I have to go back to bring my story back now about my life. So I want to take you back anyway to Denmark in 1990 when I arrived in Denmark. So it was in December. I came from Kenya, which is the average temperature I would say is 25 throughout the year. So when I arrived in Denmark, so it was snow. And we went out training. We need to shovel the snow in the fast lane so we can run. And my national coach told me, so you need to run 5 times 400 meters. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm freezing, my legs is hurting. And he said, no, if you want to be a champion, this is what we have to do. So okay, we did that. And then I ran only 3 times and I said, time out, I'm going home. So the coach took me aside and said, Wilson, I'm sorry, you will never be a champion. All my friends say Wilson is lazy, he's not training. And I got again motivation. So 3 weeks later, I went to run indoors in Berlin. And I ran a 2:18 in 1,000 meters. When I came back, so my coach said, it's not possible. Maybe the time was not good. So this was what I want to emphasize is that there is hidden agenda of the talent of the people. Knowing to do things at the right time is not what you do it every day. If you are doing the right thing at the right time, at the right moment, you are there. And then going with my coach from Holland, so I was training with him for 11 years. So in 1997, FIFA World Championship indoors. So my coach told me, so we are going for training 26 December, and I said, you know, I mean, it's Christmas. I want to celebrate Christmas with the family. I'm not going to go to the US. I went to Arizona, and he says, so you are not a professional. I said, so I'm sorry, I'm not coming until 2nd of January. So when I arrived in US, started training in the morning, he told me, you know, we cannot work this way because you are not a professional. So I said, okay, coach, I think we better sit down and discuss. I mean, this is my life, this is your life. If you want the same ambition, I want the same ambition, we work together. And my coach say, okay, you know, we are not going to work this way. I say, so the door is open, you know, I will get my luggage because I don't want to argue, I want to find a solution. If we can work, we go. And then he said, okay, let's wait until tomorrow morning because I said, my luggage is ready, I'm going home. So you can go home too, because we are 2 people in training camp, we cannot argue the whole day. I mean, let's decide. The next morning he says, okay, Wilson, we make gentleman agreement. And I said, so what is gentleman agreement? So he said, we shake our hands, we work together. And that was the year the results went very good. Because the motivation, I want to show my coach I was the best athlete, he wanted to show me he was the best coach. And we had that for 11 years. I didn't change a coach because I think so we got an understanding. So the main thing I think is getting to understand someone. It's not about coaching someone, it's about understanding someone and working with someone as a partner. So I say for the Olympic Committee is also to understand the athletes, to understand the mentality of the Israeli athletes, and to say what do we want as Israeli people, what is our objective, what do we want to go for, what do we want people to remember as outside our country. And if you build in that, so I think so you'll have a strong background which can lift you to another level. He says, okay, we reach here, so what is next? And you move step by step, like so you see 92, I think was less athlete until now you are 46. So there is a percentage of increasing and people knowing that the value of being an Israeli person. So this is the value I have to give also my people. This is the value I have to value myself. And this could be something to share with everyone. And then moving to talking about the Olympic spirit, because that was my dream to go to Olympic. So I didn't give up in many ways, even missing Atlanta, injuries. And I came back in Sydney. So when I went there, so I think in final, so you saw the rest. I was maybe I will show that again to see. Was in the video. I will show that after. I was behind because when I came to stadium was after Kathy Freeman. She won 400 meters and 120,000 was cheering. And then I came there and I looked at her and the stadium was too big. And I looked myself as a big person and I got lost. I forgot about my race. And because I think that was the Olympic spirit. The moment I got lost in Olympic to see how big is this thing. And I forgot about my race. These are talking about the focus. People, they have to remain focused until the last minute. So when I was waking up, it was the last 100 meters. The race was almost over, so I managed to fight a little bit. And that was really the moment I see Olympic, it means something in the world. Olympic, it means something to many people. But then, unfortunately, I didn't win a gold medal, but still, I have that nobody can take it away from me. That I felt at that moment when I look at them like this and I look at myself as a small person, 120 people in the stadium. It was 120,000 people, I say. So, anyway, now I got lost getting emotional again about the Olympics. So, I think my point is this, seeing Israel for many years running, I think I saw one person was jumping an event a long time ago. We didn't even talk. So the problem is when you are in sports, sometimes you cannot even have the chance to share. And what I like now is I'm traveling to many countries, meeting the champions, meeting the young athletes to see their ambition and their dreams. And this, I put myself in their shoes now to say, so when I was running there, I didn't care about the young people. I didn't care about anybody else. I was looking on my own place, but I'm coming here and then meeting Tito in Lausanne, and then now we are here now together. So it's a network. So this is why I say sport is a business. It's not only about running. So it's to teach people you need to present our country in the positive way. So sport is really giving a network, because I'm standing here because of him today. Because if I didn't meet him in Lausanne, maybe I would not be here. If I didn't do my sport or maybe running my days, I would not be here. And I think also, for most of you also to be here is also because of the sport. So I think this we need really to understand this real business and networking. And then I will go back a little bit about in Kenya, because when I was in high school, I was in the second team in the school because I was not the best athlete in school. There were more, I think, talking about Kenya, we have 40 million people in Kenya. Where Denmark, we have 5 million. Because I know people, they will ask me, why you use Denmark? I say so, being within the 5 million, I can be ranked higher in the categories of sports. Than being in the 40 million people, which I can get lost, nobody can see me. So when I went to Denmark, so I look at the country, running in the club, so I was almost top, maybe top 3. Every event I'm running, it doesn't matter if it's a long jump, I can be top 3, 400, top 3. So I decided to change to the country which I know I could make a name than being somewhere. Even if I make a name, even be a team of Olympics, I can get lost because there's million talents in Kenya. In high school, I was in the second team of the relay team in Kenya. So normally what I did was I was running the last, I would say 200 meters or even 1 kilometer. When people running 2 kilometers, I wait until the last one I will show up, like, so I'm coming very fast, I'm struggling, but in the rest I was choking. And it was the thing I say, so I didn't understand about running. And then I came to realize really is to learn to understand what you are doing and to know what you want to achieve. So from that time, being in a World Juniors 2 events, I was developing my mental way of understanding, developing my mental way of training, developing my physical way of, the way of thinking and trying to train. So I think with the young athletes, or maybe with the coaches working with the young athletes, is also to show them that a long-term vision, not make it short to say you look at it, because I think we are talking about 4 years at a time. So you have to predict where you will be in 4 years. And if you miss that, so where are you in the next 8 years? And that's if you build a plan like that, I think it would be easier for the athletes. Any questions so far? I think I've been telling stories with people that are not hearing what I'm saying, and I'm not hearing what I'm saying myself.
Wilson, you're always telling about the fact that you found yourself in Denmark, but how you came to found yourself there? You were approached by someone, you were invited?
Yeah, maybe if the video was in English, maybe that could be better. To cut it a long story short, it was in 1988 after Olympic in Seville. So Kenya performed very well. So Swedish and Swedish television, Norwegian, and Denmark. So they want to make a documentary film about Kenya, why they were so good. And one of the champions was from my former school, high school. So and they came to that school when we were at the championship, and he said, you know, you can come to run after your high school, come to our club, promote athletic in our club, and you study in Denmark. So even I didn't know about the language, I didn't know about the climate, which was a big surprise when I went there. So it was approached from the school and the connection of the television people. They want to make a documentary film in our school, and I was one of them. So they asked me to go there. I said, okay, 1 year in Denmark, why not? But then so it's 22 years later, I'm still in Denmark. So I think sometimes it's, you have to do what you love in your life. It's not really, you do things, I mean, even the work you are doing is, you have to, if you love what you are doing, I think so there's nothing to stop you. So I love running, and when I fell in love with it now, and I'm still in that country up to now. Before I was against about moving from one country to another. But then when I went there, so I was the first one to move in Kenya anyway, before the other people moved to Qatar, Bahrain, whatever. So I was the first one. Even the president was upset in Kenya to say, so who is this guy? Who is this young kid moving away from our country? And I say, so you know, I love to run, I love to be in Denmark. That was it. So I think sometimes it's about loving what you're doing. No matter what happens, if you're last or whatever, as long as you have the passion of doing it, enjoy it. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, you answered it perfectly.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you if you prepare yourself mentally differently for World Championships or Olympic Games?
I would say it's the same system every year, throughout the year, but then you have to know what is coming in the World Championship and all that. But then the mental part of it is, it's not easy to say you prepare yourself to do the best you can do. But I would say I approach my running in a different way. I have my own motivation in many ways. You know, the challenges, I challenge myself, I push myself along. And that was, I'm setting the target every year, what I want to be in the next year. Because I think it's knowing the program of the World Championship and Olympic. So I knew in this period I have to be in the best shape of my life. I know in every race since 1995, so I was in final in every championship. So I didn't miss the final. And I was top 4 or maybe top 3. And that's the challenge of keeping that consistent. And you want to perform at your best all the time, not to get lost. But mental thing is a tougher one, because I think that's, you need to have it with you every day, because you have to wake up every morning, going out, training every day. So that's, you cannot train in one period. You have to have it every morning, every night before you go to bed. You know that you have to get ready for tomorrow. It's another day. And tomorrow you have to be better than the day before, and the day after. And that was really a challenge because I was telling Amir last night, waking up every day and running almost the same route in training. So I would stop in the middle of the forest and I think maybe I'm sick in the head, you know. I've been running here 100 times and I'm still running today and I'm going to run again tomorrow. So this is really a challenging, it's a crucial moment for yourself to think, what do you want to achieve? So my consultation was to perform very well in the stadium because I know the pain, I know what it takes every day. So the price I was earning was to make a good result. I can comfort myself, I say what I was doing is paid off. And that's, I think, so many athletes cannot have that mental part of being strong every day you wake up. Also, I remember I was training in Poland, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And I had some athletes from Denmark and one athlete from Jamaica. They train only for 1 week in that place and say, we are not staying here. You know, it's nightmare, it's a lot of mosquitoes in the middle of nowhere, food is not good, we are not sleeping well. And I say, so I was not going to judge Poland about what they have or the facilities. I'm here to train myself to be the best athlete in the world. And I was training there. So both of them, all athletes, they went back, but then they didn't make it to Olympic champion, they didn't make it to World Championship. So sometimes I say the focus of the athletes, we focus in the negative things, we focus in the different things, but if you focus in what you want to do, so this is the mental, you have to be strong really to say, this is what I have to do. Did I answer your question first? Somehow?
You didn't talk about your world record. You broke it twice. You broke Sebastian Coe's record the first time, and then you broke your own record. How was the feeling to be on the top of the world?
No, so it's getting tough and tough all the time. Yeah, the feeling was not really a big difference. The idea was when I became a first, in 95, when I became a world champion, so my motivation to become a world champion, so when I became a world champion, so what was next? So think about the world record. But then in that time I was thinking about the Olympic in 96. But then when I missed the Olympic in 96, so I think about now being the best in the world and think about the world record. So I'm pushing the target all the time, so I didn't want to push from the beginning. So the feeling is different because, you know, when you are winning and looking around, everybody is cheering, it feels so good. You know, running on the track for a lap of honor, seeing the small kids want autograph, shaking your hands. So the feeling is really, you know, you get addicted to it. And that's it keep me going for 10 years. And this again, so it's the feeling of seeing people, the way they smile, the way they see you, and the young kids, the way they enjoy what they are seeing. And then when I was, let's say in Denmark, so people they say, so thank you, you get us to sit in front of television, we are watching a nice event, the way you're running, it's really entertaining. So that's giving me another inspiration to keep going. So talking about the world records, so when I look at the history of the 800 meters, so that was, in that time was almost, I would say 16 years old record, and I say, you know, I mean, if Sebastian Coe broke this record in 1981, and still that record is here now, so that means something is wrong about the training, something is wrong about the athletes, or something is wrong about me. You know, if I cannot run better than Sebastian Coe, when the facilities is better, the shoes is better, I mean, everything is better, the timing is better. So and that was my motivation to see, I mean, we are in a better position with everything. Because talking about in Kenya, so I mean, when I was running, so we didn't have a tartan track in Kenya. There was only one in Nairobi, in the capital city. So we used to run on the grass, we used to run in Maran Stadium. When I came to Denmark, so I was shocked. In every club, they have a nice stadium. And again, so I was thinking, so why not to use these facilities to make a good results? So the feeling is different, quite different.